This morning, we're following a shakeup in the Lee County School District after the superintendent has decided to leave. So who and what is next? And the Super Bowl was not a super spreader. Health officials are giving their post-game wrap-up on the event. Good morning, and thank you guys so much for joining us. I'm Rochelle Alleyne. Lauren is in the Weather Center to talk about the temperatures and the humidity ahead for today. So is it going to be a bad day when I walk outside, or?
You could kind of tell just from the numbers here, starting off 74 already in Fort Myers. Our average low for this time of the year closer to the low 60s. So with an incoming front, we know that causes an uptick in the humidity, and we are feeling it this morning. The sky nice and clear in Fort Myers and Naples, coming in at 74 at Page Field over in Naples, coming in at 75 degrees. With that humidity, you know, sometimes we have visibility issues. Most of that is inland. You can see Immokalee down to about a quarter-mile visibility. Other areas like LaBelle and Clewiston, actually you just saw those numbers update live on air. So 0 miles visibility in Immokalee, LaBelle, Clewiston, and also Moorhaven. Taking a look at clouds and radar, if you're taking a step outside, at least you don't need the umbrella. A lot of that rain is staying to the north of us. We have this nice southerly flow that's keeping it humid and breezy, and then an area of high pressure that's blocking a little bit of that rain and keeping it to the north of us. But eventually, those rain chances are going to uptick. Maybe not today, and as we get through Sunday, you could see those very low rain chances do stick around. Things change on Monday, though. We'll talk more about that and your full forecast coming up in less than 10 minutes.
All right, thanks, Lauren. So what's next for Southwest Florida's largest school district? That's the big question this morning now that the superintendent announced he's retiring. Dr. Greg Adkins plans to stay in his role as superintendent until his contract ends on June 30th. He also says he wants to have a role in the transition process to the next superintendent. That said, there are 2 school board members calling for Dr. Adkins to step down immediately. They're in favor of an interim superintendent taking over as early as the next school board meeting.
I do want it to be clear that I want to work with this team to really care for their wishes. I think collectively together we can figure out, you know, what's the best plan for a transition, whatever that tenure of time would be.
We're told if an interim superintendent is selected, it will likely be someone who's already working at the district in an administrative role. The Lee County School District is one of the largest employers in this area, so this could affect a lot of people. Fox 4's Calvin Lewis is also hearing from some parents following Dr. Adkins' retirement announcement.
Well, it's been a week that has seen the school district go through a lot, not only for its students, but also for its parents. And after hearing that news, it's been a mix of emotions for some of those who I spoke with.
I'm a little sad because I've actually been really happy with how things have gone this year.
It marks the end of an era. Superintendent Greg Adkins announced he will be retiring at the end of his contract on June 30th. The move comes after a turbulent year navigating school policies amid a pandemic.
Especially with COVID, seeing that our students were able to get back to school at the end of August. I still have so many friends up north and other school districts who were not even allowed to have the option. And some of them are still wondering if they're going to go back to school in person next year. So I was really happy with how everything went in our district.
But the same can't be said for all.
I wasn't surprised. There's a lot of heavy issues going on in the school system right now. And if he was going to make a decision to exit, I think now might be the best time.
Issues such as revising the current mask mandate, as well as the recent call for change over the year-old LGBTQ school policy discussed at Tuesday night's school board meeting.
There's a lot of hatred going on, and I don't think that we, the people, have the ability to be heard. No, I think that it's kind of being like squashed and minimized. Microphone gets turned off at the end of your minute. That's how we're being treated.
This week, the Florida Education Commissioner said schools should make mask use voluntary. In response, Lee County Schools said they will take the commissioner's guidance into consideration.
It's something, I have very active children. It's a complaint. And as we're getting out of COVID and people are being vaccinated, I love that the kids will have the ability to choose next year and that we'll have that option as parents.
It all boils down to one concept for these parents.
Just being included in the process of educating our children as much as we can. We do trust those in the district to do it, but being welcome into the process to share our voice is important to me. And I would hope that that continues.
My hope, first and foremost, is that they find somebody that will advocate for the children like they're their own.
And that is something that both parents who I spoke with want from their next superintendent is transparency, or someone to act as a bridge between both the schools and the parents.
And several school board members have shared their reaction with Fox 4, along with those who represent teachers in Lee County. Kevin Daly is the president of the Teachers Association of Lee County, and he shared his hopes for the future of education in our area.
I'd like to see the next superintendent continue to take on an advocacy role for, appropriate funding. There are still some things we need to do around, health insurance, making sure that, health insurance remains affordable for the employees of the school district.
Dr. Adkins also says he's proud of what he's accomplished in this role, referencing graduation rates, which he says hit a record high this year. And we're also hearing from folks on our Facebook page about Dr. Adkins retiring, and we'd like you to join in on the conversation. Clarice Tomasic Logan says, quote, "Thank God he should have never held that position. He ignores abuse of all types. He allows abuse to continue, refuses to answer questions, refuses to come to the phone," end quote. And Randy Scott says, quote, "He has pending investigations that will not retire with him," end quote. It is important to note at this time, Dr. Adkins is not accused of any wrongdoing. If you'd like to leave a comment, you can head over to our Facebook page. You can find it by searching for Fox 4 Fort Myers. Florida health officials say Super Bowl 55 was not a super spreader event. Hillsborough County Health Department officials say there was only a slight increase in case positivity after the Super Bowl. McKenna King is digging deeper into the data and finding out why experts think we didn't see a spike.
That's what happened. The Super Bowl was not a super spreader.
That was the goal for the Super Bowl host committee, to make their mark on the economy without leaving a trail of COVID-19 cases behind.
We had 53 cases that were identified as any of these events within the state, and 4 reports to us from out of state.
Hillsborough County health officials worked to identify cases directly associated with Super Bowl 55 events, all held outdoors with mask requirements and health screenings.
Well, we didn't really have a lot that was associated directly with the Super Bowl. We do know that the community kind of celebrated and got together in response to the events, which did show some increase in the transmission.
Of course, we all saw the groups of maskless fans celebrating after the game, but it doesn't appear to have significantly impacted our overall county transmission rates.
It's a combination of time and kind of concentration. And the other thing is that it's a nice time of the year. People are out of doors. So the boat parade was an out of doors activity that really, dilutes the virus.
A brief increase where Hillsborough County's case positivity rate was above the state average.
It was a pretty small bump, a couple hundred cases maybe at the maximum.
Now it's leveling off, leading officials to believe the events surrounding the Super Bowl, which brought in record-setting amounts of fans, were mostly positive.
More than 280,000 fans or working staff safely took part in Super Bowl activities.
And a new study is revealing which pro football teams have the most binge drinking fans, and a Florida team tops that list. Both the Atlanta Falcons and the Jacksonville Jaguars tie with 86% of their fans reporting binge drinking on game days. Fans of the Arizona Cardinals and Buffalo Bills take 3rd and 4th place. The study was done by Lines.com, and they surveyed almost 1,700 sports fans about their game day drinking habits. The New England Patriots fans, though, were at the bottom of the list, with just 42% of fans reporting binge drinking. All right, many of us picked up new hobbies during the pandemic, and for one Florida woman, that was baking pies. Brittany Volk is a marketing designer at a pet hospital in the Tampa Bay area. Back when the pandemic first started, she started to feel a little lonely, so she found some inspiration on social media and made a pie. Then she made another and another.
I needed something to do that wasn't just watch more episodes of ER or Lost. If there's anything I've learned in pie making, it's not about it being perfect. Nothing is going to be perfect.
I might need to get some tips from her. Right now, Brittany is not selling her pies to the public. They're just for friends and family. But like you can, or like me, I should say, you can follow her on social media and get some tips for pie making. Keeping that pool water crystal clear this summer might be a bit tougher due to a shortage of one main ingredient. We'll explain coming up.
And today the pool might be the place you want to be. We have another hot one ahead of us. Punta Gorda starting off as one of the cooler spots, coming in at 71 degrees already. How hot are we talking? We'll talk more about that in your full forecast in just a few minutes.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:13 a.m. You're taking a look at the tower cam at Fox 4 Studios. Pretty quiet, slow start to the morning and a warm start to the morning. But coming up, Lauren will join us for a look at when showers could creep into the forecast. All right, if you live in the Boca Grande area, there's a story on our website you might want to check out. The article has some details on a dog park that's proposed for that area. The Lee County Parks and Recreation Department is holding a public meeting in the Boca Grande Community Center Auditorium on April 30th. The meeting will be open to the public and will allow you to view plans for the park. So far, we know that the park design will mirror other Lee County off-leash facilities. New Apple products are coming to stores on Tuesday. This will be Apple's first launch of the year. Siri actually spilled the beans and gave out the date before the official announcement when users asked her about a new product launch date. Bloomberg reports that Apple plans to announce upgrades to its line of iPads along with next generation AirPods. Apple's MacBook is also due for something new, but it's not known if they will be a part of next week's event. All right, a heads up if you own a pool, keeping that water crystal clear could be harder this summer. That's because there could be a shortage of chlorine tablets. A fire at a Louisiana factory wiped out nearly 80% of the country's supply. Pool industry experts say a big bucket of tablets could cost as much as $200 more this summer. Retailers are now trying to import more tablets from foreign makers in China and Europe to keep up with demand. Home prices in Florida are rising fast, but income is not. New data from the team at Quote Wizard shows that in the last 10 years, median income has gone up about 30%, while the average cost of a home has nearly doubled. That makes the Florida housing market the 10th fastest growing, but the 7th least affordable. Nevada tops the list with housing costs up 150% versus 31% income increase, followed closely by Idaho and Arizona. A consumer alert for those of you looking to buy a home. Limited inventory can make it harder for you to snag the house you want. So this morning, Jimmy Rhodes has some details you don't want to miss in the list.
When demand is high and supply is low, it's a good time to be a seller. And when it comes to housing right now,
it's a fantastic time to be a seller.
Trevor Halpern would know. He's the founder of Halpern Residential at North & Co. And there's a flip side to how good the sellers have it.
Being a buyer nowadays is like playing musical chairs with the chairs on fire.
While people are also throwing angry badgers at you and calling you mean names. So we're running down advice for buyers in a seller's market. Start by assembling a team of pros who have access to up-to-the-minute data and will know what it means.
Because the market dynamics change every few weeks. So pick a great team, make sure they are full-time folks, make sure that they can connect you with other full-time folks who are really good at this.
A real estate agent will often refer you to a team of financial and inspection pros they know are ready to spring into action. And they're also wired into professional networks.
Most of the time people moving are like, I want to be right here. And there happen to be dots of agents in there that are very active. And if those agents are active, they know all the other active agents, and they can do things like pick up the phone and say, hey, do you have something coming on the market that looks like this, feels like this, is about price like this? And those other agents can say yes, no, maybe, but it gets the conversation flowing.
Now, you've heard this next one, but it's so important. Get pre-qualified for your mortgage loan to show your team you're serious.
We, as agents, before we commit time to you, want to make sure that you're able to do it, because we are showing about 5 times the number of homes as normal and writing about 5 times the number of offers as normal. So we want to make sure that you're actionable and ready to go.
Your bank might get ambitious, so you've got to gut check that pre-qual number. Then shop below whatever number you're comfortable spending.
Let's say you're pre-qualified at $400,000. In this marketplace, the chance is you're going to look at a $400,000 and it's going to get bid up to $415,000, $425,000, $450,000. So knowing what your ultimate qualifying dollar amount is And undersizing that a little bit during your search so that you've got wiggle room to go up is very actionable.
Finally, if you can afford it, you can make yourself more attractive to sellers with buyer's concessions, such as agreeing to an as-is sale.
But as-is is one of those things that you have to be careful about.
As-is should only mean that you won't ask the seller to make repairs. It should not mean waiving an inspection.
I'm going to do my diligence and make sure everything looks okay. And if it doesn't look okay, we're going to cancel and keep our powder dry and move on to the next one.
A concession that can be powerful in a hot marketplace but takes some money to make work is waiving the appraisal.
Appraisers are looking back in time. They have to look back at what is closed. Something that closed 3 months ago is not the same value as something on the market right now.
So waiving the appraisal means you'll pony up the cash to cover the gap between the agreed upon price and the number on the appraisal.
Set a floor. Say, if this thing appraises for $2,500 under our contract price, I've got an extra $2,500 I can throw at it. Or I've got an extra 5, or I've got an extra 10, or I have an extra 15, or whatever it is.
Advice for buyers in a seller's market's at the top of the list.
And we also have some tips for those of you looking to sell your home in a seller's market. You'll get some visitors, but there are some things you can do to make your home more attractive. According to Zillow, you'll want to clean and declutter your home and pay extra attention to curb appeal. Invest in minor repairs, make sure you use professional photography, and be flexible with those showings. Now, Lauren, I have to ask, as I'm going to be scrolling through Zillow looking for that dream house today.
Oh, yeah.
Should I do it inside or can I take it outside? Is it going to be hot? What are we looking at?
It's going to be hot, but maybe like if you're laying by the pool,
okay. That
you have like a nice iced tea next to you. I'm just really setting up the day for you, Rochelle.
Thank you.
Yeah, the pool and the beach, definitely the place to be. It's going to be a warm one. You could tell we're already starting off above average for where we should for overnight temperatures. So taking a look, 71 right now over in Punta Gorda, headed down to Naples. I want to show you the Naples Pier right now. It's a little bit breezier and warmer down in Naples. Not really seeing too many people out and about on the pier, though, enjoying it. But I bet if we check in the next 15 minutes or so, it's usually packed with people running, fishing, and just enjoying a nice sunrise, especially on this gorgeous Saturday morning we are expecting. So that was Naples. Let's take a look at Fort Myers. 74 over at Fort Myers. The wind coming out of the southwest, very light at 5 miles per hour. And then Naples, I told you, slightly warmer, coming in at 75 degrees. The wind coming out of the south. And it's that nice south-southwesterly flow that's making it a little muggy this morning. It's still tolerable, but as we have storms in the forecast for the next several days, that humidity is going to stay up, which means we're also having some slight visibility issues this morning that stays inland. At least we are looking nice and clear from Cape Coral all the way down to Bonita Springs. Taking a zoomed out view here, Arcadia all the way down to Everglades City is looking nice and clear. To the north of us, we do have a stalled front that's bringing plenty of rain to areas like Jacksonville, Panama City, and eventually we'll start to see a little bit of rain, but not for the weekend. Your highest chance for rain is going to be Tuesday into Wednesday. Taking a look at the predictor, you could see just a couple of passing clouds for your Saturday. As we move to the overnight hours, things are looking nice and clear. Through Sunday, we could see a little bit more cloud coverage work into the forecast because of the storms to the north of us. It will also be breezy at times with gusts up to about 20 miles per hour. But with all of this incoming rain, we really need it. Fort Myers is just above 2 inches away from where we should be for this time of the year. And Naples, they're at an even bigger deficit at almost 5 inches below average. So we could really use it. We really need it to put a dent in these drought conditions across the state. Most of us here in Florida are abnormally dry, but if you take a look at the color table here, we're moderately dry for parts of southern Collier County. So we could really use the rain. And taking a look at the weekend forecast, I know I told you a good way to cool down before all of the rain is the pool or the beach, but maybe you want to take the boat out. That wind coming out of the southwest, it's about 10 knots, 2 feet or less out on the seas, and a light chop on the inland water. Your UV index is at an extreme, so don't make the mistake I made last weekend and wear your sunscreen, because I was Fox 4 red. It was not okay. Wave heights are nice and low if you are headed to the beach, not just for today, but over the next several days. With those incoming storms, it does become a little bit more choppy for your Tuesday and Wednesday, so 2 to 3 feet is what we are expecting. With all of those changes on the way, let me walk you through the 7 7-day forecast. So for today, mostly sunny with a high of 86, so still slightly above average for this time of the year. Those overnight temperatures are warm, closer to 70 degrees. Like I said, tomorrow, more cloud coverage working in. We'll start to see some of those isolated storms build in, becoming more scattered on Monday. Your highest chance for rain Tuesday into Wednesday. But behind all of the rain, plenty of sunshine, highs in the mid-80s. Also, I was talking to you about maybe hitting the beach. Maybe it's a good time to do it, especially in Charlotte County. And that's because the Port Charlotte Beach Park and Recreation Center, it's closing on Monday, April 19th through May 28th for scheduled repairs. If you still want to swim, you're in luck. The Port Charlotte Beach Pool will remain open during that time, so you have options.
And if you're just waking up, we're going to tell you how to get better sleep with the help of Netflix. Stick with us. Welcome back. A new study found that some of the healthiest foods your kids are eating may be coming from school cafeterias. That's after researchers at Tufts School of Medicine studied the diets of more than 21,000 kids. And they found that school food is getting healthier, with the percent of unhealthy foods in the cafeteria dropping from 55% in 2003 to just 24% in 2018. But parents, you're still going to need to keep an eye on your child's diet. That's because one of the study's authors points out that despite the fact that school food is getting healthier, it only makes up about 9% of your kids' overall calorie intake. Streaming giant Netflix wants to teach you how to stop watching, kind of. They announced plans for a docuseries called Headspace Guide to Sleep. The animated series consists of 7 15-minute episodes. Each episode examines different problems we face with sleep, like insomnia, stress, and our phones. Netflix CEO Reed Hastings has said the company's biggest competitor is sleep, and Netflix is currently winning. One of the biggest causes of insomnia is too much screen time at night. Tokyo is now enforcing tougher measures as it races to get coronavirus cases under control ahead of the Olympics. Tokyo's governor is imposing shorter operating hours for bars and restaurants, mandatory punishments for people who don't comply, and compensation for those who do. The move comes just after the Olympic torch relay was stopped in Osaka due to a surge in cases. Japanese news agency Kyodo reports organizers of the Olympic Games have secured 300 rooms at hotels near the Olympic Village for athletes experiencing minor coronavirus symptoms. The already postponed games are scheduled to start on July 23rd. International fans, though, will not be allowed to attend, and maximum capacity for event venues has not yet been announced. All right, you won't need to open your wallet to get into any of our country's national parks today. Fees are being waived to kick off National Park Week. This includes more than 400 parks, and the free admission runs until April 25th. Some of the parks will also be hosting experiences to teach and entertain people, but keep in mind, camping and boat fees will still apply. Florida has 11 national parks. In our own backyard is the Caloosahatchee National Wildlife Refuge. In driving distance are the DeSoto National Memorial Park, Everglades National Park, and Biscayne National Park. The Canaveral National Seashore Park is on Florida's east coast. And straight ahead, why one woman wants us all to mask up just a little bit longer. And she's not saying that just because she's married to a doctor. Time now is 6:28. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News.
Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News.
Welcome back. Time now is 6:30 a.m. You're taking a look at one of my favorite views in all of Southwest Florida, the Naples Pier. And you can see some people have the right idea this morning. They're jogging and walking along the pier. And like Lauren said earlier, this is probably the place to be today, right? Considering the weather, I think they have the right idea. They're just getting a little bit of an earlier start than us.
Especially if you were like, oh, I'll wait for the beach until Monday or Tuesday. Nope. And no, get out there right now, especially because today's going to be gorgeous forecast-wise and hot. So you could cool down, get your tan, cool down. best of both worlds, in my opinion. Yeah, Naples is actually one of the warmer spots this morning, coming in at 75 degrees. Usually overnight temperatures are in the low 60s, so we are very muggy and warm this morning. You can see that when we take a look at the Charlotte County area. So Northport coming in over at 73 degrees, 71 over in Punta Gorda, 69 at Orange Tree. I told you Naples was warm, coming in at 76, and then closer to Lake O, some areas are still in the upper 60s, so 69 in Moorhaven, the same over in Hall City. Clouds and radar looking nice and dry. We do have a front to the north of us that's really making it feel a little bit more humid as we're sandwiched between that and then also that southwesterly flow, which is bringing in all of that tropical humid air to us. So it's making a humid and also a foggy morning for some of us, especially inland. But through the afternoon, temperatures are going to be hot in the mid 80s. So if you want to take the pup for a walk, I would say stay in the shade. That's because the concrete could be up to 105 degrees by the afternoon. The asphalt could be 130 degrees or more. We'll talk more about the highs for today and other ways you should plan your weekend coming up in your full forecast soon.
All right, thanks, Lauren. Lee Health is providing updates on the COVID-19 vaccine and its availability in Southwest Florida. Lee Health President and CEO Dr. Larry Antonucci held a press conference to answer questions from the media. He encourages people to continue taking precautions as we continue moving through the pandemic.
Get your vaccine when you're eligible to do so, and then wear your mask, keep yourself distanced, and wash your hands. Those are the things that we can do to prevent this. Have fun and live your life. Don't live in fear, but do the things that we know that will protect you.
Governor Ron DeSantis has put a pause to administering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine for now out of caution, but the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines are still available. For information on where to get vaccinated, you can head to fox4.com/coronavirus. According to the CDC, nearly a quarter of the U.S. population, that's about 80 million people, are fully vaccinated. And yet nearly half of all states are still seeing a daily rise in COVID cases. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, 21 states have reported a 10% increase in their daily average. The CDC is chalking it up to vaccine hesitancy and the fact that some places are just not vaccinating at the same pace as the rest of the country. Okay, here's a case where going through a drive-through is actually a healthy decision. You can attend a drive-through health fair at Lee Health Coconut Point today. Lee Health promises to give out health and wellness information. You can drive up to the event and register there. You'll be given a bag to gather information as you drive through, and masks must be worn. We're now heading into year 2 of the pandemic, and the fatigue that comes along with it is very real. New this morning, we hear from the wife of a Detroit doctor and why she's encouraging people to keep their guard up just a little longer. Kimberly Craig from our sister station in Detroit has that story.
Brooke says COVID-19 was a real long battle for her husband, a physician himself, but with every inch that he got better here at Michigan Medicine, she says it felt more like a mile.
I feel like if people don't wear their masks or do the right thing, then this isn't going to go away.
And Brooke Vovchuk is not alone in her concern that the virus will continue to mutate into stronger strains that are more contagious, and she knows what COVID-19 can do to its victims.
We haven't traveled. You know, we hadn't done anything. That's all he had done is gone to work.
Brooke's husband, Eugene Vovchuk, is a physician at a Detroit hospital, but it's not clear where he contracted coronavirus. It began as a fever, and about a week later, Eugene was on a ventilator and being life-flighted to Michigan Medicine in Ann Arbor, where Eugene did his training in ICU. And not long after he arrived, Brooke remembers she and one of their little girls began to cough.
I was thinking in my head, well, what if I have to go into the hospital? Who's going to take care of my children? Do I hand them off to my parents and kill my parents because they have to take care of my COVID children? Because they would obviously have it if I have it.
Over the next few weeks, Brooke says she couldn't help but think of the what ifs.
You know, the big, what if he doesn't make it? And, you know, that was pretty scary, like thinking that I'd have to plan a funeral for the father of my 2 little girls. And nobody could go.
Then one day, Brooke says friends held a Zoom party for her birthday, and before it was over, they prayed, and amazingly, the next day, her husband was taken off the ventilator. Brooke remembers seeing her husband being wheeled out of the hospital.
I just remember seeing him, and, you know, I gave him a hug. You know, it was just And he's like, "Are you ready to go home?" And I said, "Yeah." And that's when the tears started to pour because he finally was coming home.
And when it comes to people feeling a sort of pandemic fatigue, Brooke says she gets it, and she believes in the vaccines and masking up to protect yourself and others so more of us can see all of this to the end.
I see a lot of people walking around where they have their mask below their nose or doing this or that. And you understand, it's hard, but, I don't like wearing a mask either. But I do it because I have to. And, I'm going to continue to do that until I don't have to anymore. So I hope that day comes.
And after being released from Michigan Medicine here, Brooke's husband spent about 6 months at home recovering. She says he still has some lingering heart issues, but his kidneys are just about back to normal. Eugene is only 39 years old.
Governor Ron DeSantis says he doesn't want to increase Florida's unemployment benefits, which are among some of the lowest in the country. Instead, he says he's focused on getting people back to work and urging people to get vaccinated. The governor's comments come as the state Senate is moving a bill to increase maximum unemployment benefits from $275 to $375 a week and boost the benefit duration from 12 to 14 weeks. The number of people filing for unemployment fell to 576,000 last week. This is the lowest number of applications since the pandemic started. Experts say the decline comes as more people get vaccinated, restrictions are lifted, and more people travel, shop, and eat out. Last year, many of us here in Southwest Florida and across the country didn't take time off of work because there wasn't anywhere to go. And this has led to a lot of reports of burnout. Now companies are taking steps to make sure that doesn't happen this year. Google is offering an extra vacation day to workers who book time off now. LinkedIn just gave all of its full-time staff the whole week off. Citigroup and several other companies have taken similar steps and scheduled company-wide closings for a long weekend. But one of the best incentives may be getting paid to use vacation time. Accounting and consulting giant PricewaterhouseCoopers is offering employees $250 for every week of vacation they take. That could add up to almost $1,000 for the year.
It's a simple way to do a couple things. Send a message, first of all, to reinforce how much we appreciate their commitment, their hard work, their contributions over the course of this past year amidst a pandemic. But it's also intended to recognize the importance of taking time to recharge.
This incentive could cost PwC millions, but leaders say it won't take away from the other things the company does for its employees.
Over the course of this past year, we've driven a lot of innovation in a short period of time, introducing expanded mental health benefits, expanded flexibility for our people, formal flexibility programs, everyday flexibility, and protected time for all of our people.
PwC is also offering incentives to employees to give back to the community. And we want you to join in on the conversation this morning on our Facebook page. What is the company you work for or own doing to help prevent burnout? Are you getting additional time off or even money to take time off? You can tell us on Facebook. Just search Fox 4 Fort Myers. And listen to this, there's also a new list of top North American vacation destinations. This is according to Expedia. Topping the list is Wailea, Hawaii. Cambria, California is number 2. Springdale, Utah comes in at number 3, followed by Quebec City. And Ashland, Oregon is number 5. This week for Southwest Florida reinvented a business dedicated to making you feel good by making you look good. Destiny Perez just opened her spa, Beauteous Aesthetics, in Naples. She left a career in finance to take this chance of starting a new business. And she tells morning anchor Chris Shaw that the thing she learned very quickly was that this was more than just a job.
In your voice and the times that we've spoken, I really get the impression that this is a passion for you, not so much a passion to have a business and to make a lot of money, but a passion to help people in this very specific way. Yes. Do I have that right? Is that how you feel?
Yes, especially women. That is why I'm here, because I have been through so much, I just want to help women feel beautiful again. And in the future, I would love to like partner up with like some kind of organization to help women that have experienced that kind of lifestyle and just help them feel beautiful again.
You can see more of the interview with Destiny and why the next couple of months are so crucial to her business when you stream this week's episode of Southwest Florida Reinvented, Moving Forward. We also have an update on another business owner who's had a hard time getting her business off the ground. You can stream the episode on your TV, from the Fox 4 app, on your Roku, Fire Stick, or Apple TV. You can also see it at fox4now.com/reinvented. All right, is Saturday the day that you and your family tidy up the house? Well, hold off on the dusting until you see 3 apps that can help you clean.
All right, Rochelle, and our current forecast really has a sandwich between an area of high pressure and low pressure. And you know when that happens, it can make it breezy with winds up to about 15 miles per hour today. We're going to need that, though, to help us cool down. We'll talk more about how hot we're expecting it to be for your Saturday and your Sunday coming up in your full forecast on Fox 4 Morning News. Welcome back, Southwest Florida. You're taking a look at Fort Myers Beach with the Rubenstein Law Sky Cam. Time right now is only 6:45, but between here and Naples Pier, we've already seen quite a few people walking up and down the beach, just enjoying this gorgeous morning. Already a little mild out there, very foggy in some spots. Kind of a sign of what we can expect as we head into your Saturday and Sunday. Hint, hint, you're going to need the SPF. We'll talk more about all of that in your full forecast in just a couple of minutes. Stick around.
All right, thanks, Lauren. It's Saturday, and if you're not heading outside like Lauren said, that probably means you're inside doing chores. No word generates a louder groan from kids, but according to Fatherly.com, a study from the University of Minnesota shows that kids who do chores are more likely to grow up to be successful adults. So, Hattie D. Jamal shares 3 apps to help busy parents out there win the chore war.
It's tough to get kids to do chores.
Please? No.
But helping out around the house might just help your kids succeed later in life. So here are 3 apps to help your home run smooth. First up, Cozy.
It's so organized. It keeps everyone's schedules and appointments and activities all in one place.
Everyone gets assigned a color, so it's easy to track when things get done.
What I enter here shows up here. Then I can send reminders like, Spencer, don't forget math homework.
The best part is, Cozy's free, or you can opt for a yearly subscription for about $30. Next up, the S'mores Up app, which really knows how to motivate our kids.
Your kids collect points called s'mores by doing chores, completing schoolwork, or simply by brushing their teeth. But if they don't, they can lose s'mores, which all accumulate and can be traded in for rewards set by you.
And those rewards can be anything from extra screen time to a slightly later curfew.
Now your kids will have loads of fun doing more. You can relax doing less while teaching them critical life skills.
You can download the S'mores Up app for free or get the premium plan for about $5 a month. And last up, the Greenlight app. If clean your room and money doesn't grow on trees are common phrases in your household,
Greenlight offers a digital way to assign chores, pay allowances, and it even teaches kids the importance of saving, spending, and giving. But it offers parents more granular control over their kids' spending.
And what better incentive for kids to knock out their chores than cold, hard plastic?
The Greenlight app and debit card makes it easy to manage your kids' money and brings you peace of mind.
Your kids will not only learn that hard work pays off.
With Greenlight, kids form smart money habits that prepare them for their futures.
Did you know about this?
Thank you. The Greenlight app is about $5 a month, which includes up to 5 debit cards. So when it comes to getting your kids to do chores, there's an app for that.
And we want to make sure you know about a free cancer screening event today in Cape Coral. This is something Lee Health does every year with the 21st Century Care Foundation. They'll have screenings for head, neck, and oral cancer. It'll be at the Ear, Nose, and Throat Specialists of Florida on Del Prado from 9 to noon. Every year, more than 50,000 people in the U.S. are diagnosed with this kind of cancer, but it's preventable with this simple test. A medical device currently under review by the FDA could be a game changer when it comes to heart transplants. It's called Heart in a Box.
Heart in the Box allows is for us to take the heart out of the donor, put it in the heart in the box and reanimate it so that as the blood runs into the donor heart, the heart begins to beat again.
Typically, a heart can be preserved for 3 hours, but this device can now double and possibly even quadruple that time. It's now in clinical trials. So far, doctors have done around 500 transplants using the device. They hope this kind of device can increase the transplant rate by about 20 or 30%. The device could also help doctors and patients get transplants that are more technically complex and would take more time.
I think that the quality of the heart transplant improves, so the recovery process improves. The patients may spend less time on intensive care, less time on the ward. They may get a better long-term result.
Another possible benefit of the device is that organs can travel further to be transplanted. The doctor we spoke with recently flew from California to Hawaii to get a heart from a donor. The hospital provided us with this picture. The heart spent more than 7 hours being maintained in a beating state in that device. The man who received the heart at Cedars-Sinai agreed to do the clinical trial because his age and height could make it very hard for him to find a donor match. He was told he had 6 to 12 months left to live if a heart didn't become available, and now he's doing well. We don't know how soon the FDA will make their decision on this device, but it's already gained approval in Europe and Australia. That's insane, Lauren. I'm amazed. And it was on Grey's Anatomy. We were talking about that in the break.
Okay, so who said TV rots your brain? Because we knew about Hearts in a Box
way before this.
Way before this. I can't remember the season, but Meredith Grey, thank you. It's really incredible how far science and technology can take us, including with forecasting the weather.
That's right.
Really good segue right there.
That was a good transition. Yeah, I like it.
Thank you very much. Thought about that one on the fly. All right, let's head outside. We've been talking about the beach all morning long. Looks like we have a couple of people out and about on the Rubenstein Law Sky Cam over at Fort Myers Beach. A little foggy out there, and some of us, especially inland areas like Immokalee right now, waking up to some dense fog, down to about 0 miles of visibility there. Closer to the coast, we have a breeze going, so it's really helping to move a lot of that fog out of place. And you can see what I'm talking about right now with our current conditions. So Immokalee, this little icon right here means fog, and then also that breeze is very light, and it helps keep that fog in place. Punta Gorda, a little bit warmer, coming in at 71 degrees, 66 in Immokalee, 72 down in Marco Island, and it is muggy out there. The humidity is up with the dew points in the upper 60s, low 70s, so we're teeter-tottering between somewhat humid to very humid on that muggy meter, and that's what's also helping that fog to really condense and form closer to the surface. Clouds and radar looking nice and clear from Cape Coral all the way down to Naples. To the north of us, though, we do have a front, and it's bringing plenty of rain to the Panhandle, also parts of Jacksonville and the northern parts of Orlando and Daytona as well. Now, that's really not going to impact us this weekend. That's actually going to lift to the north. You can see what I'm talking about with our predictor models here. So as we go through Saturday, just seeing a couple of passing clouds. Sunday, we could start to see a couple more clouds work into the forecast because of the system to the north of us. But you could see as we go through the rest of your Sunday and then also into your Monday, that rain starts to dissipate and then it moves out of the area. So we're not expecting any rain this weekend, but take a look what happens at the beginning of your work week. We do have a system move in, and our best chances for rain going to be Monday into Tuesday, and then Tuesday into Wednesday, and then behind Wednesday we will start to see those diminishing rain chances. We could use it though. We are at a deficit in most areas for this time of the year. So last week, parts of Lee County were at a very high risk on the fire danger index. All of Southwest Florida at a moderate risk, and that's because of that higher humidity and also some of that rain we saw earlier in the week. So we could really use it. Before the rain comes though, get out, enjoy the boat, the beach, all that good stuff. The wind coming out of the southwest at 10 knots, seas 2 to 3 feet, and also a light chop on the inland water. And it's going to be gorgeous, not today, but also tomorrow. So you have plenty of time to really enjoy it. Let me walk you through that 7-day forecast and explain. So for today, mostly sunny, a high closer to 86 degrees. Overnight temperatures are warm. They're going to be closer to 70. Tomorrow, partly cloudy, a little bit warmer at 87. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, remember that's when the scattered storms do work into the forecast. But behind it, sunny skies and our highs closer to the mid-80s. Time right now is 6:54. You're watching Fox 4 Morning News.
Taylor.
Welcome back. The Fresh Market is hosting a national hiring event today from 9 to 1. You can head to Fresh Market locations in our area to learn more about the positions they have available. There's also a chance to get an on-the-spot interview. To learn more about the job fair locations and to find the application, you can head to fox4now.com. And as far as the weekend goes, if you're not going to the job fair, I feel like Lauren has convinced us all to go outside. Is that fair, Lauren?
Oh, definitely. But maybe I should tell everyone go at noon, so that way I don't go over the bridge and it takes forever. Going to be gorgeous though. Plenty of sunshine for the weekend.
Will do. Have a good weekend, you guys. Bye-bye.